Shrimatre Namaha. Today I want to discuss the topic Light on the Path of Renunciation. It's prayer. Stapakaya cha dharmasya satyadharmarataya cha bhajatam kalpavrukshaya namatam kamadhenave. The glory of renunciation. Every religion has a band of anchorites who lead the life of seclusion and meditation. There are Bhikkus in Buddhism, Fakirs in Muslim, Sufistic Fakirs in Sufism, Fathers and Reverends in Christianity. The glory of religion will be lost if there are no monks leading a life of renunciation and service to the world. It is these people who maintain the religion of the world. They give solace to the householders when they are in trouble and distress or agony. They are the harbingers of peace and wisdom. They heal the sick, comfort and forlorn, and bring help to the hopeless, and joy to the depressed, strength to the weak, and knowledge to the ignorant. One true Sannyasin can change the thought currents of the world for better purpose. A real sannyasa is a mighty potential of this earth. Sannyasins have done sublime work in the past. They are working wonders at present. One real sannyasin, an ascetic, a sage or saint, can change the destiny of the whole world. I dance in joy when I see or hear from an inspirant who entertains genuine devotion. Like Chaitanya Prabhu, who always dances when he hears the chanting of Lord Krishna. Similarly, aspiration and also inclination for the path of renunciation and tries to get out of the quagmire of samsara. Through prayers and thought currents, I am in very much close touch with such students and help them a lot. They are all attracted towards the saint and leave the world quickly with a great hope for the future. We can welcome them with great joy and also train them nicely in a variety of ways in the path of yoga and take care of them until they are able to stand firm in the path. The path should be right path, righteous path. Next, youth is the best period for renunciation. For example, you can say Buddha, Gautama Buddha. In ancient time, he was called Siddhartha. He took renunciation only when he was fresh youth. Similarly, Swami Vivekananda, Adi Shankaracharya, they all are renounced these external pleasures when they are in youth. In scriptures, the order of sannyasa is mentioned for those who have passed the brahmacharya, means celibacy, grihastha and vanaprastha stages of life. That means people took sannyasa in their old age on the verge of death. It is quite good to have some place at the time of death. By this, they may get a good birth. From experience, we can find that tremendous energy is needed for purposes of contemplation, clear vision, and extraordinary purity of body, mind, and heart. We can consider youth with abundant energy and mental purity. What it is? It is a foremost qualification for the path of renunciation. We can all admire for those young brahmacharis who do not have any worldly bondage, mean bandhas, and entanglements, mean excessive attachments. They can be molded nicely. Viveka, Vairagya, Sat, Sampat, and Mumukshutva are the primary qualifications to students prescribed by the scriptures. It will not be possible to have all the above qualifications when people live in worldly environments with heavy responsibilities, anxieties, and worries. By the time they develop one virtue or try to remove a single defect or evil in the mind, they get entangled in various other directions. The vibrations of the materialistic world are not favorable for spiritual progress in the early stages. They have to spend their entire energy solely in resisting the temptations. Therefore, we can prefer young persons in this regard. Necessary qualifications will come by themselves when they tread the path of yoga in a favorable atmosphere and when they live in the company of yogis in a place far away from the temptations and attraction of sense objects. Another one. No rigid conditions are attached. Let us see. We heartily welcome all types of people. Old people can take bath in the holy Ganga river and spend their time in prayers and bhajan and enjoy the benefits of satsanga, association with good people. Young persons will evolve quickly through a dynamic sadhana and bring spiritual good to the world. If people only show some symptom of disgust for sensual enjoyment, coupled with a taste for the path of yoga, we at once give them sannyasa and share with them what we have and encourage them to a great extent. It is a great surprise to many to see that we give initiation through post also. Some students who are not in a position to come to the Himalayas have taken sannyasa by receiving the sacred cloth and instructions by post. We cannot express their enjoy in full. They have made a wonderful progress. The entire voluntary donation we receive from devotees for human purposes and personal use is spent in providing comforts and conveniences to the students for their welfare and peace in creating hundreds of avenues in which they can quickly evolve and help the world in a variety of ways. In our method of work for the spiritual upliftment of mankind, we permit even married people to take to the path of renunciation and live like it saints. There are many who have taken to the order of sannyasa when they have a family and children. After some training here, they go back and live winter or live near the family or a little away and take care of the family with complete detachment and gloriously prosper in the sadhana. The point of my method is that we must look at the motive and the inner purity of the seeker. We do not impose too many rules and restrictions on food and dress. External conformity to rules in is not of much value. My students can live in any place, in any dress, and yet efficiently follow instructions. They all set an example to the entire world. Glory to the true ideal Sannyasin also, who leads an exemplary life. This world is in need of ideal sannyasins who will serve the country and humanity with divine consciousness and disseminate true knowledge and carry the message of the Prakult, the repositants of divine knowledge, the torch bearers of the truth. The basic simple phrasing and beacon lights of the world and cornerstones of spiritual edifices, the crown of spiritual edifices and the central pillars of the eternal dharma or religion guide the nations of the world. What does renunciation? This is one of the questions. Let us put it. The renunciation is the act of renouncing or rejecting something which is most important to you. In the context of yoga and Indian philosophy, renunciation is the giving up worldly, the order achiever or liberation from the recurring cycle of life, death, and rebirth. In Hinduism, the act of renunciation is known by the Sanskrit term sannyasa. In Buddhism, it is usually known by the Pali term nekkhamma. In the Hindu text Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains that both the yoga of action and the yoga of renunciation are paths to liberation, mean moksha. Yogapedia explains renunciation. How? Let us see. A life of renunciation can vary widely, but the yogi who follow this path typically gives up material possessions, leads a simple life, and many leave family to wander without physical or emotional attachments. Many such ascetics are vegetarians. In Hindu philosophy, sannyasa is a stage of a person's one's life, the final of four life stages. The others are brahmacharya, grihastha, and vanaprastha. Young students can choose to skip marriage and career and take the direct path of renunciation. Let us see the joy of renunciation. Do you think of renunciation as a painful abandonment? Or does a life of renunciation enthrall you as an honorable one? Illustrating the wrong concept regarding renunciation, Puja Gurudev Shri urges us not to wage war by forcibly imposing controls on ourselves, rather to strive for right understanding and inner transformation. Today's society offers two distinct ways of life. There are those who wish to live a householder's life and those who do not. The former follow the institution of marriage and the latter the order of mankind. Dispassion must be propelling cause of renouncing the world and accepting the manhood. However, those who do not wish to adopt a married life may do so for various reasons. Some fear losing independence, while some fear learning independently, while others, having seen equal quarrel, abhor marriages. Some are afraid of getting trapped in the enchantment of the world. It is observed that many times the cause of taking up renunciation is hatred for the world. According to the enlightened ones, the right perspective should be I take this course of life because I like this. If I am interested in sports, let me take sports. Music, let me take music. Politics, history, like this. Whatever the topic it may be. It is one kind of training. Then we can finally say we are satisfied with what? Other semi-gods. Only an affirmation resolve to live a life of renunciation for the sake of the higher hierarchy and not one happy and inspired even who one encounters negatives, encourages to self-realization. However, due to lack of right understanding, the true meaning of renunciation is lost, and a tradition of considering renunciation mere restraint prevails. Renunciation is not mere controllable. Why? It is not an ordinary work. Most often, renunciation is itself a difficult one, cannot be, associated meaning cannot be explained. He who understands and takes care of you can become your dearer, dearer. Most often, renunciation is misunderstood as denial, opposition, control, etc. He is considered a renunciate who denies himself, who eats less, sleeps less, does not get married, and has given up professions. The more he denies limits and controls himself, the greater renunciate he is considered to be. This makes renunciation negative. By and large, society is unaware of the positive connotation of renunciation. Worldly people expect inner transformation merely by bringing about external charges. For them, keeping out of the extended activities is important, and so they stop at that. While the true aspirant sees transcendental in other changes. If you become satisfied with external practices of vows or austerities, how would you go be inspired? To him within are being guilty for not having turned with them. A genuine aspirant is satisfied only when he knows that his mind has renunciated calm while engaging. Lord Rama particularly minutely captured such a situation from him. Taking care of the stability of his inner state, he respects all the forests, the code of conduct. Even though he performed educate or conduct, even though he performed practices scrupulously, he considers only those austerities as fulfilled. We have brought him inner faction. Now, renunciation is not a stress. The negative practice of renunciation leads to inner conflict. You do not gain anything. Instead, it drains you. Even a part of your Monday energy is for pleasure. What we do? We do another aspect for renunciation. Your personality gets fragmented, then naturally divorces of each couple, each fighting to win over the other. Victorious if you fight with your inclinations. The enlightened ones say that certainly this path of a winning and yadaha, certainly this leads to winning over. The path is of by wasting war against one's self. You may wonder how everyone drank, who anyone can be victorious without a fight. But think, if you both hands fight with each other, who will win and who will lose? It cannot be discriminated so easily. Being a taught, I am a teacher. In either case, the young youth are expending your own energy, their own energy. The winners or loser in both cases is you alone. How can the enlightened ones ever instruct you to follow such renunciation that creates a split within and wastes your life in conflict and confusion? At the same time, renunciation is not suppression. According to the enlightened ones, a renunciate he is he who abides in his true nature. Raveling in the self has made the renunciates or renunciates worldly inclinations powerless. His celibacy means brahmacharya. He is not born out of self control, but his strength of celibacy, the more he is strength and to win over his lower passions. Such is the positive within and he is extremely happy, for he is on the path of absolute freedom. Okay. Renunciation is not like the withering of a flower at dusk, but it is like the flowering of a bird at dawn. It is not a condition of apathy, but a state of dancing in ecstasy. It is neither shying nor out of fear, nor a practice born out of enticement. It is like the notes resonates the strings, the one's heart in the moments of bliss. Therefore, it is very important to understand renunciation through its affirmative definition, practicing absorption in the blissful set. Devotion, renunciation. Devotion is the highway to liberation. Therefore, it is natural that divine love will free us from all negatives and also feelings. By devotion, more as well as material will fall away, but how it happened must be understood. Getting connected to the divine is so blissful that all material pleasures same way in a seem dull, and so they all fall away. Like stones and pebbles fall away from the hands effortlessly on seeing valuable diamonds, who to drop them we don't need to reach the vows, or follows disciplines, organized functions or public processions. We do not keep a scent of how many stones fell a few from where our focus is on the gain of the valuables and not loss of the worthless. This is the true renunciation. The primary thing is the gain of the diamonds and the fruit of it dropping away of stotras, but people notice just the renouncing. Due to the strength of Purcheri and other places, the strength and right understanding, the value in worldliness drops. With an increase in the joy of Madhu, what we can say, the worldliness drops instead of that. With an increase in the joy of divine, the material pleasures start falling away. This must be renounced the entire world. It cannot be attained like a hara in the neck. The enlightened ones say that the happiness of loving God is such that no worldly pleasure can be compared with that joy. This joy is more matchless with the pleasures experienced from the spouse, family, wealth, status, etc. all seem worthless. The main mendicancy. Mendicancy means acceptance of what is, contentment, no desire for enough, either to decrease or increase. Freedom is a positive is illness, mameness, doership and enjoy our ownership, the cause of the study of love for the divine. But the outer tendency without love will show as dullness on the face, inner dryness. Letting go is natural in love. In the world, one who is in love, for him everything becomes secondary compared to his beloved. He is ready to go to any extent for the loved one. He can do anything or live anything effortlessly for his love. In the same way, the one who is in love with the divine, his focus is not on renouncing anything, still it happens effortlessly. Because of this, there is neither pretense nor arrogance of giving up. His focus remains ever on his gains and never on things renounced. Only in the absence of love, giving up becomes significant and deceit or conceit way arise. A heart without love for the divine is very much interested in keeping count of practices. The masters say, enough of mentioning records of numbers. Now start with elevation and connection with the divine. The real renunciation springs from love for the divine, staying intoxicated in the divine love. The world ebbs away and liberation gets closed. So, devotion is deemed a free way to freedom. True renunciation, therefore, is an attitude of mind and way of life in which we set aside our desires and expectations and let go of all intentional effort and compulsive planning. Through renunciation, we become truly free from the desire to direct our lives or the habitual compulsion to exercise our will to ensure our survival and success. And eventually, we experience the state of being rather than doing. श्रीकांताय कल्याण निधे निधेतनाम श्री वेंकटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम मंगलाशासनपरे मदाचार्य पुरोगमयि सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्ये सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम्.